Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go. Hey, good morning out there, everyone. It's me, your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk, in the house. Welcome to another edition of NFL Sunday Morning with me, Clutch Sports Talk, man. Hey, I've been slacking a little bit. I've been off the last couple of Sunday mornings, but I'm back with another episode today. We got some interesting topics I want to talk about today, man. I know everyone's talking about the Cardinals losing on Thursday Night Football to the Green Bay Packers, and what was AJ Green thinking? What was he doing? I'll share some thoughts on that. Trade talks picking up very heavily between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson. Christian McCaffrey might be in that package, so I got to give you my thoughts on that as well. And finally, also the Dallas Cowboys play Sunday Night Football tonight. Happy Halloween, right? Against the Minnesota Vikings, but Dak Prescott nursing a strained calf injury. What does that mean? Should the Cowboys sit him? Should they play him? What should the Cowboys do tonight? I'll let you know what I'm thinking about that. And also, I got my clutch picks of the week, which I've been slacking on again, but I'm back again. And also my power rankings going into this week right now. So, but hey, just pull up a seat, man. Get your drink, get whatever you got to do, whatever you got to do. Let's get into it. What's up? Welcome back in, man. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Halloween for you guys and those kiddos out there. Most of you guys will be probably doing some trick-or-treating tonight. I will not be. I'll be watching my Dallas Cowboys tonight. So I told the kids, I'm like, look, Cowboys are playing. If we're going to trick-or-treat, we're going to do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just kidding. But I'm definitely excited for the Sunday Night Football game tonight. Excited to see those kids out there in those costumes, man. That'll be fun. But anyway, man, we're here to talk about NFL football. It's week 8, dude. We're like, I wouldn't say halfway through. We're close to halfway through, right? The NFL season, man. So I hope you guys are doing well. If you're in the room right now, man, drop a comment. We got one already. We got Barrington Grant Jr., my boy, man. He says, keep grinding. Your knowledge is needed, man. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Was thinking about you the other day. So, hey, I'm glad that you popped on, man. Hope everything is doing all right. And we get you back somewhere out here in the universe in this podcast game. So, but appreciate you, bro. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, make sure you do so after the show. Don't do it right now because you're going to miss on some stuff. So, but I appreciate you guys out there. You got all my social media stuff flowing down below. So, hey, there's no excuse. Sign up. Hit me up, man. I appreciate you. Bryson Carver, what's up, my guy? All the way from Tennessee. Hey, that's another podcast you want to check out as well. Carving It Up podcast with Bryson Carver, giving you the knowledge and those stats that you need sometimes to punk people when you're debating. So he's got that for you too as well. So, but hey, what else more can I say, man? Cardinals, Thursday Night Football. Crazy game. You know, Packers were down Devontae Adams. No problem though. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we got some crazy stuff out of that game. Number one, we got that crazy meme, and I should have got a picture of that. But that meme with Rodgers after being leveled after throwing the ball, that's gonna go down in infamy. I think that's gonna be that's up there now. That's up there with the Jordan crying meme and some other memes that are up there. So I mean, the possibilities are endless to that picture. That's gonna be a good one. But what I mean, look, before I break down the AJ Green play, I still like the Cardinals. I had them number 1 going to my power rankings, which you'll see later on in the show. But this was a game, and they've won some big games. They beat the Rams, obviously, destroyed them a couple weeks ago. They've had some nice road wins. I give them that. But this was another big test for them, especially on the main stage against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Granted, I get it. Devontae Adams did not play, and the Packers, really were down, one of their best guys, one of the best receivers in all of the National Football League. Aaron Rodgers is still showing that he's that dude. After week 1, a lot of people, including myself, thought, well, they got shellacked by New Orleans. Was he going to be focused? Was he thinking about, his exit move versus is he going to commit to the season? And honestly, he's more committed than I've ever seen him committed before to this team. Now, does that mean he's going to stay in Green Bay? I don't know. I don't think so. But for whatever it's worth, I think he's looking at it as when he said it like, hey, this is a great team. We're going to play it out. We're going to see what happens. So, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. He's still balling. He's up there and excuse me, MVP candidacy. He has to be with that performance. I mean, granted, Devontae Adams wasn't there. What they did was it was a pretty basic, pretty basic scheme. They really didn't have the deep threats that they would normally have if they had Devontae Adams there. They nickel and dimed them, short intermediate routes, took some shots every now and then, but for the most part, put Aaron Jones in the game, and they were able to win effectively, and the Cardinals could not stop it. And mind you, Cardinals were down J.J. Watt, who hasn't gotten a lot of sacks this year, but pressures. I believe he was like top 5, top 10 in NFL quarterback pressures this year. He's out probably the rest of the season. So, Chandler Jones is there, but they were not able to really get to him effectively because Aaron Rodgers is a very difficult guy to contain. He's hard because he's mobile. He's not a running quarterback like Kyler, right? But he's mobile enough to get around, extend some plays, and you saw that in Thursday night's game. So I don't know. The Cardinals definitely are still a good team. I don't think their record is a fluke. I mean, they've had some easier games, but I mean, look, you can only play who's on your schedule, right? And they, like I said, they had a good win against the Rams on the road a couple weeks ago. And they're going to be tested the next couple weeks too. They're going to play Dallas in December. We're going to see what that game's going to shake up to. But to me, this was their opportunity on the main stage with the bright lights, Thursday night football, the only game of the night or the day. And you lost. And actually, now that I'm talking about that, but before I say that, Lucia, Bryson Carver's got a comment. He said, I thought, given what Aaron dealt with regards to his lack of receivers health, he played outstanding, still trying to figure out LaFleur's play calling and yeah, exactly. Oh, what's up, DC? Daniel Cameraman, Mr. Dynamic. That's me, I guess. That's his nickname for me. Hope you're doing right. But yeah, let's get into AJ Green. So when I watched that play over and over, it just looks like to me he did not think the ball was going his way. I don't think he knew what was going on. Now, if he just breaks outside to his right, if I'm not mistaken, that's a touchdown. Cardinals win. They're 8-0. The 75 Dolphins still have to keep that cap on the bottle of the champagne. But look, it is what it is. It's football. In those pressure situations like that, down the stretch, I'm not gonna knock the guy for that because most of us that talk, and even fans, I mean, you've never been in that situation before, and again, I'm going to kind of reference to my coaching experience. Yeah, I've never coached in the NFL, obviously, but sometimes things can get heated. You lose track of time. You don't know what's really going on. People are yelling. Can you imagine? He's in a stadium with 60,000 people, prime time. I'm not giving an excuse for him, but those things happen. It is what it is. He's a human being. I'm not gonna trash him. It's just crazy though. That's how football is. Kind of like life, man. If you just turn right, you win. If you don't, you lose. And it's that simple. But they had a whole entire game to win. I'm not gonna put it all on AJ Green at the end of the game. Was it a mistake of his? Yeah, of course. But we don't know the circumstances. We don't know the situation. We don't know what was called. I mean, maybe he thought they called this, but I mean, from the replay, he just ran and didn't think the ball was even coming to him. So I don't know what that was all about. I don't know, but we're gonna have to see what's gonna be shaken down with DeAndre Hopkins and his injury, because I believe he hurt his hamstring on Thursday night. But yeah, Barry Grant, he says, as a veteran receiver, you see zero blitz, you turn your head around. It's like in basketball. Yep. And I don't know what was going through his mind. And you're absolutely right, Barry. Zero blitz, you're right. And actually, if it's a zero blitz, he should be running a slant. It looked like he was running a block. So I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, look, let's just be real. He ain't probably playing in any meaningful games in quite some time. So, but hey, it is what it is. That's why they got a 17 games schedule. Does that, it is what it is. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm not gonna rag on the guy that too much because we all make mistakes. Was that a big mistake? Yeah, it was. It was. But there are other little mistakes within the game. That's what's so great about football. It never really comes down to the last play, in my opinion. I feel like there are all these little battles within the game which will allow you to win or lose the war. And that was a little battle. They lost it, but there were several other little battles that they lost, and they end up losing the game. And that's how it is. That's you got to pick yourself up from the bootstraps and move and keep moving along. Jack Ryan, he says Davis Mills for MVP, right? Yeah, Houston, man, dude, I mean, they got rid of Big Trust this week. Brandon Cook's not happy. No, I would not say he's for MVP. Maybe MVP for one of the worst teams in the league. Yes, but not in the legitimate MVP race. So I don't know about that. So speaking of the Texans, let's move on to that, right? So the last couple weeks, it's been the Dolphins have been like the main team looking to land Deshaun Watson, right? So, but then the last couple of days, from reports coming out of Carolina and Houston, is that the Panthers are willing to trade away Christian McCaffrey. And some people are like, well, why? Why would you do that? He's your guy. He's your guy, right? Yeah, in some capacity, yeah, but the guy is hurt all the time, and and I hate to talk about guys that are always hurt because a lot of that stuff you can't control. Their bodies just are made out of glass, like J.J. Watt, Christian McCaffrey. Those are guys that are always going to be hurt, right? Carson Wentz, you always see them hurt on the sideline or not playing. Um, for a team like Carolina, first of all, they screwed up. Now we all, I wouldn't say all. I was very tempered about Sam Darnold going to Carolina, right? Because number one, all right, he didn't really look good in New York. Granted, he had Adam Gase as a head coach, and honestly, anyone that plays for Adam Gase, you're going to struggle, and you're going to struggle significantly, right? Adam Gase should not even be allowed around a football, right? If he drives by a high school stadium, he needs to, it's almost like he needs a what you call a restraining order on any type of football related activity, right? He don't need to be around anything around football, right? Okay. He shouldn't even buy a loaf of bread because he might carry it like a football because he does not know anything about football. I'm sorry to say that, right? So he struggled in New York. New York was like, well, you know what? We're gonna get rid of him. We're gonna go and get Zach Wilson in the draft. Okay, he's out for the rest of the year. And they signed Joe Flacco, which I might have to touch base on that just for a second here after this here. But listen, Sam Darnold goes to Carolina. They give him an extension before even seeing the guy really play in their system. Now they start off 3-0. They're looking good. They run into the Cowboys. They get buzzsawed. I think they've lost their last 4 games in a row. Sam Darnold looking like Sam Darnold of old, throwing the ball away, making reads that are just like, dude. And I'm watching a lot of Carolina. They're 22, the all 22, where it's the coaching view and stuff like that. And some of the interceptions he had are just, for an NFL quarterback, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you even making that read? Why are you even throwing the ball there? So I think Sam Darnold is what he is. Carolina is kind of like stuck right now because honestly, look, you give him the extension before you even see him really perform throughout the whole year because you're worried that if he does ball out, then you're gonna have to pay him even more, which I get, but still, it's Sam Darnold, right? And now what happens if you go and get Deshaun Watson? What happens to Sam Darnold? Now he's the backup. Are you going to try to trade him? Are you going to dump him off someone? Will someone even take him at this point? I don't know. And as far as giving up CMC, Christian McCaffrey, to get Deshaun Watson, you're gonna have to do it. And here's the reason why. Christian McCaffrey will not win you meaningful games in the national football. He will not take you to the promised land. Number one, he's a running back. Okay, we know now it's a fact that most teams have a dual, even sometimes a triple running back attack. Some teams do, right? Obviously, you see that in Dallas now with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, and other teams are doing that. It's very rare where you have one guy like in Tennessee with Derrick Henry, and how long will he last, right? And then on top of that, Christian McCaffrey is always hurt. It's always hurt, man. He's always hurt. I mean, it's no fault to him. He's just brittle, unfortunately. So you can't really bank on a guy that you haven't really been winning meaningful games with him, then if he's always hurt. So, you got to pull the trigger. Same thing with Miami. Miami was in that boat too. Carolina probably should have drafted a quarterback, but they ended up drafting a corner, right? So, I don't know, man. Let's see. It's interesting. We got some more comments. Sam Darnold is definitely in a tough spot, but at the same time, if they can get him at a reasonable price, yeah. But yeah, you're right. But I don't know. But I believe they gave him an extension already. So, they saw something in him. And, is he a starting quarterback? I don't know. I think he's probably a better backup at this point, Sam Darnold. I'm an LA guy. I'm from LA, born and raised down the street from USC. Big USC fan. They're trash right now. Okay. They almost lost to Arizona, who's 0-7, right? Okay. I don't know. He hasn't learned from his mistakes. So I don't know. So I don't know. In Texans fans, Jack Ryan, Texans fans just want Watson the hell out of there. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I think the Texans just need to rebuild all together. The coach that they got, I don't I forgot his name, honestly. He's like an older guy. And no offense, I'm not trying to be prejudiced or biased or anything like to older guys, but listen, you look at this guy, he don't even look like an NFL head coach. And you're like, well, what does an NFL head coach look like? He don't look like that, right? Now you got older guys like Andy Reid that are still doing it. But honestly, man, the trend now is these younger guys. They're a little bit David Culley. Thank you, Bryson. I was gonna say David Cuddy, but David Culley, you're right. I don't know. He's been in the NFL for like 40 something years, never even had like an assistant's job, right? And then you get elevated to the head coaching job. Like, look, man, being a head coach in any sport is tough, and you got to have some decent experience. Now, he's worked under some really good head coaches, from what I understand. But listen, he's not the answer in Texas in Houston, right? They're getting rid of guys. Davis Mills is not the MVP, right? They're gonna have to just. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do because this draft class, quarterback wise, is not the greatest, obviously. So what are they gonna do? I don't know, man. The Texans are in a tough spot. But you like Jack Ryan said, you got to get Deshaun Watson out of there sooner or later, because if not, look, that starts to spill over, and it probably has already. So, we got another comment here from Bryson. Unless you get a franchise quarterback in return, you don't deal McCaffrey. Too good. I don't. I respectfully disagree with that. Because listen, yes, you need to, Carolina is not, the Tennessee Titans are obviously in a position of power in a sense, right? Maybe. But as this plays out longer and longer and longer, teams are going to be like, look, man, you just cut the guy. And they know that. But if you can get him now, write him out, because he's going to probably be suspended, your season's over. Your season's over. Houston, your season's over. You get Christian McCaffrey, get him healthy. Maybe you get somebody that can maybe play a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. But Christian McCaffrey is not going to win anything for you in Carolina at this point, and that's the bare bones of it. I just think that he's a great player. He's a great talent, but he's not always available. He's going to miss more games than he plays. So at this point, why not just get rid of him? Deshaun Watson, when he's allowed to play, he's pretty. He's not injury prone, right? So I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. We got some people thinking Cully's done a good job. I mean, yes, you're right. I'm not going to say the guy sucks. He's been hired to just kind of be like a babysitter, just kind of man the fort a little bit. Not too much is expected of him, right? So yes, that's what he's there for. And I get it. And I get it. And Barry Grant says, I think Cully's done a good job for what he's been given. It's always funny that guys that look like me and you get jobs that are impossible to do good. Yeah, absolutely right. He basically was the fall guy. Basically, like, hey, David Cutler, we're going to hire you. He won't be there in the next year or two, man. Let's just be real. He won't. Because there are going to be other guys coming in from college, some other young, hot assistants that are going to get this job, especially when they get those players in place. Houston Texans right now are not in a position to do anything. They don't have anybody there. So once they get the guys that they want, David Culley's out, because I don't think he's going to be the guy to take them to the next step or the next level here in the National Football League. But it starts first by moving on with Deshaun Watson. He gets getting rid of him, clean slate. He don't want to play there. People probably don't even like him there anymore. So it is definitely not a very, very, very efficient ran organization. It just hasn't been in a couple. And Bill O'Brien really screwed them up too. I mean, what he did with DeAndre Hopkins, JJ Watt, things of like that nature. Those guys wanted out. I mean, they just really have not done a good job. Period. And that's why they are the Houston Texans. So there's only one football team in Texas that I recognize, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. So moving on. All right. Nice segue. Dallas Cowboys played Minnesota Vikings tonight. If you didn't know, Sunday Night Football. They're underdogs. Last time I checked, they were plus 2.5. So I'm thinking that the Cowboys might probably sit out Dak. Now, the question is, what would you do if you were the Dallas Cowboys? Would you play them? Would you try to beat the Minnesota Vikings, who are a tough out? They're at home. They can score some points. They got Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. Not quite sure about Kirk Cousins, but you never know. You never know. But Kirk Cousins in the primetime games usually doesn't play well, but whatever, right? Or you sit Dak and you rely on the number 2 rushing attack in the National Football League up against the 30th ranked rush defense, right? Tonight, honestly, if Dak doesn't look, I don't know what the severity of it is. Dak said in an interview a couple days ago, if this was a playoff game, he's going. So to me, that sounds like a guy that is probably saying, I'm probably not going to play. Because if it was a playoff game, I'd be playing. If not, I'd probably just sit tonight. And Cooper Rush has been getting some snaps with the ones the last couple of days, so that leads me to believe. And then the line, look at that. I mean, the line is dropped. I mean, it changed. The Cowboys were favored at one point at -3, then 1.5, and now they're underdogs in this game. So, this in the calf injury is a very tough injury to recover from. If you strain that thing, dude, you're out at least another 6 to 8 weeks. To me, the safe bet right now, your defense is playing decent. You got a running attack. You know, but this is when you need to rely on Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard tonight in a game like this. Will it be high scoring? Probably not, but they might. I don't know. It just depends. Can Cooper Rush push the ball down the field? Who knows? Michael Gallup, he should be back, but we don't know what he's going to be like. He's been out since week 1 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So who knows? But honestly, if I'm gonna play this the long game, you got to sit Dak, let him get rested. Now, I thought he probably would have been ready to go, but they had the bye week. He basically got essentially 2 weeks to get ready, but maybe it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You're 3 games up ahead in the NFC East. Those other teams aren't really going to come back. And worst case scenario, you finish 4th, you still get a home game. You don't have to play, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Are you going to the question is, do the Cowboys want to keep pace with Tampa, Green Bay? The NFC is loaded. Now, if we were in the AFC, it might be different. You might be like, well, this is easy. We'll just sit them, right? Because there's not that many teams that are vying, right? But the NFC, and you'll see my power rankings, is dominate. Like, the NFC is tough. The NFC is very tough this year. So, and Barry Grant says, as a Cowboys fan, do you feel they should get the backup? Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was listening to somebody the other day talk about this, in regards to a backup. Yeah, yes, there are backups out there, right? Cam Newton's out there. He's fully vaccinated. He wants to get a starting job or is Cooper Rush the guy? No. Cooper Rush has been in this organization for quite some time. Never really seen much out of him. Now the other guy, I forgot who they traded for right before the season started from Carolina. He was a quarterback at West Virginia. Oh, Will Grier, right? Don't know what his situation is. If he's practice squad, what he is, but most teams do not have a very good backup. That's just what it is. Very few, seldom teams, in my opinion, have decent quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks. And the Cowboys, they haven't invested much money into that. And I think they probably should do that. Maybe. I think you should always have a capable quarterback because you don't know. Because right now, look, what happens if Dak does go down again? If that's the case, the season's done. And that's the case in most teams, I think. But I think, obviously this is where those situations where you don't want to overspend. You want to get a decent price, a fair value. And some of these guys are going to want to ask for much. But honestly, I would pick up the phone and call a Cam Newton and see, like, what do you want? What exactly do you want? Because you're not going to be the starter here in Dallas, obviously. Does he want to come to Dallas, right? Does he want to do that? And if he does, well, you lay out the line. Like, look, Dak's the guy. You could wear your clothes, your granny clothes, your hats, whatever. But this is the thing, right? But does he fit with Cowboys right now? I mean, he could bring more attention to them, which the Cowboys look, they're in no shortage of attention, right? But I don't know. But they definitely need to invest in some type of capable guy. Marcus Mariota, guys like that. Will they trade for him? Like, but yes, to full circle, yes, they should invest in a back quarterback. And then Bryson Carver. This calf injury is by far the most terrifying horror movie I've seen this Halloween. Sit Dak, not worth going your season. And I agree with you on that one. I think this game is not that meaningful to us. So who cares if we lose? It doesn't affect our playoff position because I said, are we better than the other 3 teams that are ahead in the in my power rankings or in the NFC? I think we're equal to them for the most part. Maybe on the lower end. I don't know. Depends. But trying to keep pace with some of these teams, it's a long season. It's still a long season to go. They still got like 7, 8 games left. So, risking it to that. From a fan standpoint, I want to see him play because I love watching him play. But the other side of me is like, it's not worth it. And I bet you Vikings fans are like, please don't play this dude because we don't want to lose. So that's where I'm at with that. So, and some people say, well, man, he's got to tough it out. Nah, man, you got to be smart. You got to definitely be smart. And I think the Cowboys are probably going to sit him tonight. Just giving the indications. Number one, like I said, he said that if it's a playoff game, he would play. And then you look at the betting line. Vegas knows something that we don't know. Because if Dak plays, why would they be 2.5 underdogs? They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. But it might be even more fun to watch the game tonight because maybe Cooper Rush can do something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Will Grier gets some burn. I don't know. We don't know because I haven't heard a lot about him coming out of the Dallas Cowboys camp since they traded for him. So I don't know. But Cooper Rush is definitely the guy that they're going to go to. He's been in there. As long as it's not Ben DiNucci. As long as it's not Ben DiNucci, I'm okay. I can live with that. And if I see Ben DiNucci anywhere in that sideline, even in street clothes, he can get it on site. For real. Because Ben DiNucci do not need to be in the NFL. Straight up. All right. We're almost out of here, man. Let's get to the power rankings. This is what I had going into this week. Obviously, it's going to change. Cardinals are going to fall. The Cardinals are going to fall. I'll probably put them at 3. But right now, I have the Cardinals at 1, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 2, Green Bay Packers at 3, my Cowboys at 4, the Rams at 5, Tennessee Titans moving up. I've always liked the Titans, man, even from last year. My biggest thing with them sometimes is on the defensive side of the ball. That's my only biggest problem with them. I like what they do. They're very creative in their play calling. Derrick Henry is I mean, he's a horse. Buffalo Bills at number 7. The Bengals shooting into the top 10 after a great win on the road last week against Baltimore. And I have Baltimore and the Chargers at 9 and 10. So this is my power rankings in the top 10. Chiefs are falling out. The Browns are out. What more can I say? But like I said, look at the NFC. NFC top 5, man. Top 5. I don't think anyone can really challenge that. Maybe some order between the Cowboys and the Rams, stuff like that. And I can see that. The Rams have a big win against Tampa Bay at home, mind you. And it was like week 3, week 4, week 5, maybe, right? Cowboys have to go on the road, Thursday night football, defending Super Bowl champs. We don't know how Dak's going to play with the injury, So, and then, there's a lot of different, you can nitpick it, right? You can nitpick it, but those 5 teams are definitely in contention right there for a Super Bowl, because who in the AFC is going to challenge? I mean, really, I just don't see it. But the Bills, to me, falling off. They lost on the road to Tennessee. Tennessee, if everything goes their way for the most part, they are built to beat a lot of teams. Why? Because they can run the football. And they can keep the ball away from these high-powered offenses. And that's what they did to Buffalo. That's what they did to Kansas City. They can do that, right? And it's easier said than done to stop Derrick Henry. Yeah, you can say, well, just put 8 in the box. Load the box. Let Tannehill beat you. Well, Tannehill got some guys over there, man. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones. He's got guys he can go to. And, yeah, you can load the box still, but can you tackle Derrick Henry? That's the other problem. So, the last 2 teams are interesting. Baltimore was on a hot streak for the most part until they ran into the Bengals last week. Some people may think I'm a Lamar Jackson hater, maybe to a certain extent, maybe perhaps. I don't know. I just don't get too wrapped up with guys that play the quarterback position. Name me a quarterback that was a runner that had won that really won a Super Bowl in this modern era of football. I can't think of one. Right. I think Lamar Jackson probably could go down as like a greater Michael Vick with a better arm as far as accuracy is concerned. And I think that's it. That's what I think Lamar Jackson is. It doesn't, and I'm not saying to downplay him. Michael Vick had a great career. He changed the game, right? He was a game changer, but I think that's what Lamar Jackson will be in the end. And then, the Chargers, they got blown out by the Baltimore Ravens, but I still think Justin Herbert is legit. Can the Chargers bounce back? We'll see today. They got New England. But, these are my power rankings for this week. Obviously, I said stuff at the top will change. because of the Cardinals losing. Green Bay could shoot up. We could get Green Bay and Tampa Bay again in the NFC Conference Championship game. The way Aaron Rodgers is playing. And Tampa Bay, for whatever it's worth, their defense, their secondary is kind of is hobbled right now. But maybe they get those guys back. Richard Sherman gets back. They just need to be decent enough, and Tom Brady will do the rest. So that's my power rankings, man, for this week. So, all right. Last thing before I hop up out of here, man. This is my picks of the week. Like, I've been slacking. I haven't picked the last couple, like two. I think since week 5 was the last time I was on live. So, I forgot what that was. But right now, I know overall I'm 8-7 with the picks that I made. So I'm not doing that well. At least I'm plus 500. Bryce says Buffalo's too low. They couldn't stop it, which nobody can. And Josh Allen slipped just off a week. I think they'll reestablish themselves over the next year. And I can see that, but Buffalo to me is another team that's not well balanced. They don't run the football very well. When your quarterback is the leading rusher, that's a problem to me, especially come playoff time. You got to have a run game. Like, I think Josh Allen's good. Stephon Diggs is good. But to me, their defense doesn't scare me as much. I think you put them up against a high-powered offense that can keep pace with them. You can do that. You can do, so, like I said, it's 1 week, obviously. That's why these power rankings change from week to week. But, they're in the top 10. They're still in the top 10. But honestly, I don't put them above any NFC team at this point. I don't. Because all those teams here, I'll go back to that real quick. You look at all those NFC teams, right? All of them high-powered offenses that can keep pace. And Josh Allen's going to give you a pick here or there, right? I'm not that completely sold on him either. I think he's a great talent, but I'm not like, oh my God, Josh Allen. Like, I'm not swinging from him yet. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I think, and Buffalo Bills are not a well-balanced team. You got to be balanced for the most part. Well, the Chiefs won it a couple years ago. Yes, they did. But you know what happened, though? They were able to run the ball when they needed to run. Now they can't even do that. And that's why they've completely fallen off. And their defense is terrible. Their defenses can't even stop people anymore. Right? In the NFL, it's a passing game. But, even Arizona can run the ball somewhat effectively. Why? Because they have a Kyler Murray, Edmonds, Connors. Obviously we know Tampa Bay will run the ball if they need to, with Leonard Fournette, Rojo, Green Bay, Aaron Jones, Dallas, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott. The Rams are even going to try to run the ball a little bit more, right? Are they obviously the Cowboys out of the group here have probably the best rushing attack other than the Baltimore Ravens, and that's only because Lamar Jackson runs a lot for them, and obviously Tennessee. So I think that's why the Buffalo Bills to me are 7th. If you put them in a neutral site, can they beat these NFC teams? I don't think so. And that's why I got them there at number 7. Especially after they lost to the Titans. We'll see how they bounce back today. They got the Dolphins at home. They shellacked the Dolphins a couple weeks ago, so we'll see. But this is a division game. So anyway, moving on. Before I get out of here, Clutch picks week 8. I got the Falcons money line. They just need to take care of business today. They should win. They should win. Simple as that. I got Tennessee money line today. They're underdogs, actually. They are going on the road to Indianapolis, and they're underdogs. The Colts coming off a nice win, Sunday Night Football against the Colts. But come on, how are they underdogs? They're coming off of 2 really good wins against Buffalo, against Kansas City. Then the Colts look good and they looked impressive, right? But are they gonna have enough to stop Tennessee? Because I thought Tennessee is the class of this division, which doesn't really say that much, but still, right? And I got the Rams to cover today, 16.5 over the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are just, honestly, if you see Houston Texans, you should always take them to lose, obviously, and then the other team that's playing against them to cover. And the Rams should cover in this game. I mean, I don't see. I mean, they've been getting blown out. And then finally, I got the under in the Denver Broncos watching the football game at under 44. Look, the Broncos, again, another team, they've lost their last 4. Teddy Bridgewater he's a backup. He's a backup quarterback. And the fact that they decided to go with him, I'm not saying Drew Lock was any better, but again, you could have had a Justin Fields. You could have went and probably got a Mac Jones per head. I don't know anybody than what you had, right? So, Teddy Bridgewater is a game manager. Always been, always will be. The Washington football team, they're not playing good. Their defense honestly has regressed. We all thought, including myself, that defensive line was going to be something else this year. Hasn't been. Tyler, they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, which was a head scratcher for me. Tyler Heineke, or Tyler, whatever his name is, he's starting. They're not scoring that much points. So to me, this should be easy, a easy one to go under. So hopefully, man, I get all these 4 right, man. I'm back. I'm 12-7. I'm back in the game. But so yeah, that's what I got this week. So cool, man. Well, I appreciate you guys, man, for hanging in there. You guys that were in the comment section, my boys Bryson and Barrington, or Barry Grant Jr., Jack Ryan, man, appreciate you, man, for hopping in. Daniel Cameron, if you're still out there, appreciate you, man. You guys got to check him out too. He's one of the better odds makers, sports betting guys that you've seen on social media. I like him a lot. Got to get him on the show again here shortly. But hey, that's all I got. That's all I got, man. We got kickoff in less than under an hour. Make sure you guys have fun today, man. And happy Halloween. I will see you guys tomorrow on my Clutch Sports Talk Live show on that talks about everything, man. So we'll cover what happened today in the NFL, some NBA news I want to get to as well. So it's going to be a good time, man. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Please be safe out there if you're going to be out there trick-or-treating with the kids, because if you're an adult trick-or-treating, we got problems. Give me a call. I'll get you some help. But anyway, appreciate you guys, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. This is Clutch Sports Talk NFL Sunday morning with me, Ryan Flowers. Like I always say, never settle till the work is done. I'm out. Peace.